Are you okay?
Wait, is she back in yet?
Yeah,
Well, she is now.
We'll say Sae, Dandy and Sae returned a little bit before the owl finished talking.
I barrel in and go, fast for you, okay?
Oh, my mic was off.
Well then, that would explain the lack of reactions.
Well, I knew I turned it off earlier. I just forgot that it was still off.
Ah, very good. Well, I believe Dandy has asked you a question.
Everything is fine in here. We're just a little unnerved is all.
I can't believe I left you in with that thing.
I wouldn't have let anything happen to him.
Well, technically, the owl. You're still talking to the owl when this little exchange is happening.
Okay.
The owl is back on notice to this.
Yeah, don't make me get the spray bottle.
Bad owl.
What is? Right. Look at the Discord chat after the game. Look at the Discord chat after. The game.
Why?
It's hydraulic crochet.
Seems
Is
pretty.
hydraulic crochet spell in 5e?
All right. At this point, and then Saya returns somewhat shortly after, and then we'll say, just for the sake of convenience, Saya walks in during the last few sentences of the owl's little whatever have you.
And then she runs back outside again.
Of talking about Corvine's parents.
Yes.
Say, you're okay, right?
She just looks over to Corbine and she doesn't look mad, yet she doesn't really look.
I think you cut out midnight. Last I heard was
I'm
she looks over at Corvine.
Didn't cut out for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, again, for
You just
OC,
did
she
good.
looked over to Corbine. She doesn't look mad, yet at the same time, she doesn't really look like she's that pleased at the moment. Although, when does she look like that?
Does she look scared?
Does she need a hug?
No, she looks a bit uneasy.
I see.
Is that something you need?
Is there something you need, is the question.
What I need
Didn't seem
is
very...
that owl to shut up.
He has.
Then we're good.
Oh, does hearing about the hunt bother you, little prey?
Is that in common, blood hunter, or
That was in common.
telepathy?
That was common, directed towards Sae.
You know,
I raise the whip.
I
You
have seen
Get the spray bottle.
I've seen
I raise
your
the spray
so-called.
bottle.
Oh my word!
Sorry, midnight. What?
I have seen your so-called hunt for myself.
when I asked you... never mind.
The owl simply turns his head. Essentially turning his back. It turns its head away from Sae.
She's just gonna keep glaring at it.
Alright, and if there's... before we move on to the info dump that No gets, is there anything anybody wants to do on PE Talk, whatever else have you?
Besides crush the owl.
I didn't say want to do. I didn't say necessarily should do. So, no takers then? Alright. We'll go ahead and move on to the dump information. No, because I know you're there and you're
Should I
listening.
take notes?
The dead's
Alright.
talking.
At the time of this information delivery, No is alive and well and is currently late at night as he's reading through all these books.
Oh, so that means that means Amber is here.
Well, I'm winding the clock back. I'm winding the clock back even further, back to the night before, while No's reading all these books.
Gotcha.
And then once we're done here, then we'll return back to the normal timeline.
Oh,
So you are
Rip.
still alive for
for 5
bit-
minutes.
but you are alive, dang it!
One more thing.
That said, in your reading, it appears that Vesper, most of his books, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Vesper, most of his books are usually more like history, religious texts, studies in the nature of the arcane and whatnot have you. A fair bit of it you already know. So granted some of it is written in ways you hadn't really thought of per se, or it's like when you learn something and then you read an instruction book about it, you're like, oh, that's how you explain it to other people or whatever have you. You know what I mean? You get a few interesting little insights here and there. And most of what he has, you've probably learned already. Some of the books he has are about the magic of light. And what that details is essentially the magic of light is a force for good in the world, and its primary channelers are unicorns. That said, it is not uncommon or unheard of for the magic of light to be channeled through other individuals. This is pretty uncommon, and the individuals who have this ability don't tend to talk too much about how it happened, just that they have it. And what is intriguing is there are other individuals who use divine power, and some of those books that Vesper has sort of speculates as to their source. AKA, is it another extension of the magic of light we're unaware of? Is it a different source? The question isn't really answered per se. What you also learn is, you probably already know this anyways, but it's sort of the general feeling about the history of rain, a little bit about the woodlands, and then just a few other general books, like an atlas, for example, about Foenum. Granted, it isn't a comprehensive atlas, Comprehensive atlases, I suspect, didn't exist until long after guns were invented. But I'm not a huge buff, so I don't know. But anyways, point is you learn that the history of rain is that each of the major noble families, their forerunner, the one that started it, each of them had a small tribe, and that during the time of the prophet, the tribes put their differences aside and came together and formed the fortress of Rain. And over time, after the predators were gone, that the fortress sort of grew into what is now believed to be the largest city in Foenum. If not the largest, certainly one of the most conveniently located ones. And then the rest of the history is detailing just various events that happened to the city throughout the years. A couple of wars here and there. You learn a little bit about the monarchy while it was around. It started off pretty good, but it just sort of dwindled. It lasted a few generations until the last king, where it just dissolved because of utter incompetence. And then Rain has been more or less in this pseudo city, state, nation, weird, ambiguous, whatever it is since then. And there's been a few attempts to try and reunite it under the old monarchy, or foreign powers coming to try and conquer it, all have failed to this point. The city of Rain, its residents appear to be relatively content with the current status quo, as it were, or at least so the book says. You know, because you actually live, but different. If you don't live in the boroughs, Rain's not a bad place to live. You can live your life pretty normally and pretty happily. The nobles can be a bit arbitrary from time to time, and the town guard isn't 100% reliable, but by and large, living in Rain's a pretty okay experience. The marketplace is... You have to be a bit streetwise to get through it, alright, but, no one usually ends the street face down, unless they've had a lot to drink. But if you live in the boroughs, however, that's a whole different story. The boroughs is ridden with crime, and the noble houses have almost nothing to do with it. Some rumors say that the noble houses don't want to touch it. Others say the nobles think it's filthy and beneath their notice. Others still say that if you're a conspiracy theorist, that the nobles use that for experimentation, whatever that means. So generally speaking, people avoid it, including the city guard. So people in Rain are okay with it. Many of them wish things were a bit better, that the government was a little more cohesive, a little more consistent. Okay, no one. I heard someone pop out. I was wondering if it was one of the players. Anyways, and that's about all there is to say about that. And then the world at large. For those of you who have seen it, I'm using the pixelated map that was put out as the canon world for Foenum. Even if after the game comes out and they've presented a completely different map, too bad. So as a result, Rain is centrally located and is a land of more or less perpetual snow and ice. It does technically experience the various seasons of the world. Parts of it are technically a temperate zone. However, the reindeer, if possible, they have complete climate control over their city. Outside of it, they try to keep things nice and wintry. Sometimes they actually let summer come in and melt parts of Rain, but most of the time, it's covered in snow year round. Oh dang. My brain just farted. Does someone have a map of that pixelated map of Foenum on hand?
I do.
I just forgot to save it and bring it up.
But remember, there's a single road that goes straight to Rain.
There we go. Okay.
I've never seen this.
All right. So yes, Rain is nice and centrally located. To the south is the Empire. Where's Lord Jinx when you need him? Anyways, not much is really known about that place. Longma christen themselves as the defenders of Foenum, but they don't really interact much with outsiders. They're not really big fans of tourism. And generally speaking, not many individuals go in or out. They're not opposed or xenophobic or have closed borders. It's just that something about them sort of leans itself to isolation. Of course, it probably doesn't help that they have a giant flipping volcano and the active volcano in the middle of the island. The rest around the volcano is hyper-dense jungle that is fairly inhospitable. So unless you can fly, getting to the actual capital of Hoshan is somewhat perilous. Therefore, most individuals who deal with Hoshan do so on the of the island. To the west, yes, that's west, is of course the prairie. There you find lots and lots of the prairie folk and the bovine and whatever else have you. To the east is the dense forest where... No, sorry, north. Ha! Northeast. That's where the meadow is and where the sheep enjoy spending their time. And the woodlands is due east, in that little line there. It appears Vesper has taken the opportunity to... He hasn't pinpointed exactly where the woodlands, just more of like a general, they're over here-ish. Most other books will just either don't mention the woodlands or just say the woodlands are a place, or that they're somewhere over on this continent we don't really know per se, question mark. But Vesper does not exactly pinpoint the exact location there. And yes, and that tannish brownish section that's not circled in red on the west, that's the Heclaean Mountains right there. That's where the alpaca and other assorted ungulates of similar stripes tend to live, but that's not the only place they live. And that is more or less what you get. Because I need to sit down and properly make notes and everything. But so far, that's what you got.
The show back next week, so that way we can blow your head up a third time.
Yay! That's what I'm blowing up your head with. Now, and speaking of exploding heads, rewind the clock forward.
Kaboom.
To the elf
As,
or to the exploding head? Because
as
both their
Amber,
minds were blown.
as Amber, the world around you has turned red. No has freaked out, looked at you, and then his head has kaboomed. As a side note, for those of you back at Vesper's house,
The world is one red with the blood of our enemies.
does Vesper have a lot of windows?
Does he?
That's what I'm asking. Is Vesper a big window guy, or is he like big heavy walls?
I honestly, I would take him as a fan of natural light, but
Vesper,
eh,
are you still muted?
your mic is dead, dead and gone.
Is Vesper AFK?
I heard white noise.
He- Yes, there is a noise.
Made noise.
Sorry, I stepped out for a bit and I came back to silence. What happened?
Oh,
We were
Okay,
calling for you.
That's we're asking if your house has windows.
is Vesper
Like a lot.
Yes, is Vesper a fan of big
Your house-
windows?
Your house has no windows.
Windows are good.
Your house has no windows. Your family is.
I assumed you'd be a fan of natural light.
Natural light is good.
Then, as your conversation with the room suddenly floods with a very dark, almost blood red light, filtering in through the windows from the direction of the city of Rain.
Do I feel
And
unusually
well, for those of you
different
who
about
those
how
who
a
are-
normal reaction should be?
for those of you who aren't predators, you suddenly feel a terrible headache. Like something sort of like almost like slammed you in your brains. You're, oh, what the heck?
Do I count?
Bagwong, make a willpower saving throw. Would you?
Willpower?
Yes.
Wisdom.
Willpower saving throw.
Yeah, it's a willpower. Wow.
Not even just a will, but a willpower.
Give me a wisdom saving. A wisdom
It's,
saving throw, please.
It's the
Wrong
what's
campaign
it
for
called?
this joke.
The Elder Scrolls setting.
Oh.
5e has relabeled the
They use
attributes.
willpower instead of wisdom. But give me a saving throw. And roll 20.
So it's like endurance instead of constitution and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, if you're using the game terms.
Bagron? Hello?
Bygone
are you
is
okay?
dead too.
Alright.
I stepped away from my computer for a second.
It
at
keeps
the exact
happening.
wrong Time.
16. He got a 16 on his wisdom
I
save.
saw. Then in that case, you just get a headache. There's nothing more.
Oh no.
Everybody else roll wisdom saves. This is a save or die, people.
Corvine, you feel two things. One, you suddenly feel an extreme sense of exhilaration, and also that something very, very wrong has just happened. Like something that, I guess the best way to describe it would be some sort of sin against nature that has like
Nah, I don't care.
affects you deep down in the core. But that said,
Okay.
we need to. So Amber, a Pegasus just exploded in front of you. What do? Well, the head is exploded, but what do? And put your responses in roll 20. So.
Oh no.
Suffice to say, around you, several individuals are freaking out, but also several more are just simply standing, staring in stunned silence. Not so much that now. Um,
Oh, now apparently I have to look at Roll20 avatars. Aha.
Oh, see.
but it wasn't me this time. Yes, so what's up, Corvine?
Stuff has happened.
Stuff has happened? What? What stuff?
Yeah,
Where?
pizza.
Good stuff.
What? I mean, I'm in roll 20. I'm reading Pizza's.
Okay. Is the world going to react?
That's a fair point. Yes. Several individuals look at her for a moment. And some of them some of them are like, "What?" Another person shouts, "What? What happened? Are you all right?
This guy.
Well, asking Amber because it's kind of obvious that the Pegasi isn't okay.
There,
It's a
there's some
magic
people.
trick.
Oh, the Pegasi, are you alright?
Just watch. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop stealing it!
Mr. Owl, how many likes does it take to get the Tootsie Roll Summer of No's head? Let's find out. So 1, 2, 3.
Sure. It appears the individual talking not entirely. You're not,
Got a fantastic audience.
but nevertheless, we'll say it's a young cow. There we go. Say, do you need some help carrying him? Did I cut out?
No,
Nope.
you didn't.
Marvelous. And I'll just go ahead and reiterate. There's a young cow talking to you, Am, the one who rushed over to ask if you were okay. It doesn't seem like he's not sure if he believes you or not about your claim of illusions. But when you say you're just going to take him home, he looks down at No and asks if you would like any assistance taking him back or not.
Oh no.
The body bag of holding?
The
Oh
body
yeah,
bag of
the whole
holding.
breathing thing doesn't matter.
The body bag of holding when you want to commit a genocide.
Also, we're at this time if our headaches don't kill us, we're probably going to teleport there. We're close by.
Well,
But
that
if we
said,
put the
Oh.
bodies in the bag, then all that money that we got will become blood money.
listen,
Oh.
Amber, I assume then you know off the streets. So the question is, where are you taking him? Like, are you taking him back to Vesper's house? Are you taking him somewhere else? Where are you dumping the body, as it were?
If pizza doesn't react, there was one thing I wanted to do since you said it was exhilarating.
Just dump the body somewhere. What?
Oh,
Ah, gotcha. Okay then.
That never happens, does it?
Did you hear my questions earlier? Okay. So the question is, what does Amber do?
What do
Does she accept the bull's offer for help, and what does she do with the body?
Jesus, see, jumping
Well,
conclusions.
and what is she doing with the body?
If you're sure, all right. And he makes his way back into the crowd.
It takes a while.
Indeed, it does. All right. So you legit giving No a burial then, like a legit funeral. All right, cool. Give me. You know what? I don't really see a need to roll for this. I'll say you find a decent spot.
In the middle of a marketplace.
Oh no.
It has to do with those things.
No also has several plot things in his bag of holding that might be useful.
Oh, see, what is that in your
Yes,
background?
what does Amber do? What does Amber do with those items?
There's gonna be mutiny in the party, I swear.
Pizza.
All because pizza held a funeral.
Oh yeah,
Why would there be mutiny about that?
by yourself.
Remember that discussion we had about money?
You don't need it.
All right. Well, while we wait for Pizza's response, let's go ahead and head back to the group.
What was that? She looks directly at the owl.
Hold on.
Mr. Owl.
Because, yeah, you essentially said it was like getting a ton of adrenaline at once.
Yes. When that happens, and you turn towards the owl,
That is not a comfortable experience.
The owl turns back and looks, and blinks a couple times. He's like, "I have no idea."
But you have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know all there. I don't know everything I know about this about this world. I was made for the predators, and they made me go look for things. And back and told them, "Hey, your prey is like that way," and went that way.
Is everyone else okay?
Ask me again in an hour.
I did not. This is not doing well for my hangover. All you heard was computer dragging noises, did you?
I
No.
heard you said,
Okay, good.
There's something I'm looking up. That's why I'm not responding much.
I'm not saying
Right,
much
okay.
because the ball. I'm not saying much because the ball's in your court.
He's getting his stuff ready to teleport.
At
where's
this moment, while Saya has her headache, both of her antlers are sparking that weird pitch black lightning that's been sparking recently.
I'll ask later. Where's Noah? Where's Amber?
Market. We're going there now.
Let's.
All right. So I take you guys head to the market then.
Yes.
I take you guys are heading to the market.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Where are the rest of the yeses?
Just pizza. I want you and Dandy to both roll initiative.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, the reason why is because Dandy is teleporting almost immediately after the explosion happened, and I'm trying to figure out if the group arrives at the scene before you take Noah away to bury him.
So how are we teleporting to the city?
I wonder.
Geez, maybe with my teleportation ability.
Yes.
Yes, Andy.
You mean with that helmet that you gave to Noah and Amber? Yeah,
Pizza, please.
Wait, did he?
that's how they
Did I?
teleported to the
I
city.
thought they used the
No,
Yeah,
circle
Someone
directly.
I
rolled
just
that.
used the signature.
didn't they use
Because I
Didn't they
specifically remember joking about, so how much does that helmet sell for?
I don't think I gave him the helmet. I just gave him the signature to use the.
Yeah, it was just the teleportation circle.
Okay.
Yeah, just the signature to use of the circle because apparently you can do that.
Gotcha.
All right. So, what that crit means
Oh my. Surprise.
is
I tell you, I never get good initiative.
what that crit means
Oh, man, that was a good
is
initiative.
well, yeah. We'll just go ahead and say everyone more or less reconvenes at the scene of the crime at the same time after Amber has finished the funeral. So basically, after you've concluded what you're doing, you found your way back. Perhaps you're heading towards this teleportation circle you came in through, or for whatever reason, you would desire. Let me think about this. Okay, got it. As it turns out, not far. As it turns out, No's guild house wasn't very far from where the scene happened, and in finding a place to take No, his guild members recognized him and took the body and basically performed the funeral with you. And they allowed you to keep a gold piece because you were such. After leaving the guild house and you've concluded, you've noticed the rest of the party arriving on the scene.
Okay, so when Corvine spots Amber, she's going to rush up to her, give her a quick hug, and then hold her and ask, "Are you okay?"
Just before you do that, but go ahead and
Just
answer.
before-
Go ahead and respond. Go ahead and respond to that pizza because I just need to set the scene of what it looks like. When you arrive at the street, you notice that there's not a lot of people in this particular stretch of streets that you go down, and you notice what appears to be a large tomato juice stain, a large blood stain in the center of the road. And when you arrive, you see Amber walking out of what appears to be a guild house of some kind, and okay, yeah. And you notice that she appears to have. It appears that she has some blood stains on her. Like it's been cleaned, but like there's a hasty attempt to clean it off, but there's no denying she has blood on her. Since I figured you didn't quite have enough time for a proper bathing,
Right.
During
Are
the
you
funeral.
hurt?
The big question: do we still have headaches?
The headaches came and went.
Where's No?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Bad news. What?
Sai doesn't seem the least bit disturbed, just has a curious look.
Well, that's a new one.
So you're saying he's...
I. Hmm.
Probably a good way of describing that.
That
So there was no visible cause? Not at all?
We saw that from Vesper's house.
Yeah, something weird
Uh,
might be going on.
what? Where is he? Amber. Where is he?
Instead of continuing conversation, Sai turns around and steps toward the blood.
All right.
And she wants to make an Arcana check and see. Well, she probably won't be able to see anything, but she wants to see if there's anything strange mixed in with the blood. I probably can't without a chemistry kit or anything, but worth a shot.
All right. 15 Arcana.
Give me a sec. Do you
You
wish
don't?
for bardic inspiration?
You don't detect there's anything mixed in the
Yeah.
blood.
I asked, do you wish for bardic inspiration?
Don't you have to go for that before?
Y'all
Shoot.
keep forgetting about it, so this time I will go ahead and allow for retroactive guidance and whatever have yous.
Oh, the guidance is the one we keep forgetting about. Bardic inspiration is relatively
Okay.
new.
So Corvine's following Amber.
All right.
So if you want to go for the bardic inspiration, then go ahead.
You got a 2.
Yeah, we'll say that. So the blood is pretty much what you would expect. It's mixed in with the gravel a little bit, but you do sense, you pick up there's something a little off about it. There's some sort of energy, as it were, some sort of magical energy that you're not familiar with here. You have no idea what it is, and it's just very faint and it's gone. But there's something strange here. And it doesn't feel quite like arcane. But that's all you got. That's all you get.
And then I realized I could make this check too,
It's true.
and I didn't get enough.
All right. As Amber and Corvine head in, but before they do, Baiguang, what are you doing? So, Dandy, I assume you're investigating the blood.
Yeah, because I realized she was doing it.
And Baiguang, what are you doing? What are you doing during?
Just real quick, the last thing I'm going to do, Saya is going to dip a corner of her cloak into the blood.
Oh my.
Because she has nothing to store it in.
Fair enough. And Baiguang, what are you doing during all of this?
What am I doing?
Yes, what are you doing? It appears Amber and Corvine are heading. Dandy and Saya are investigating the blood.
You cut out for a second. Who's doing what?
Corvine and Amber are heading into the guild. Corvine has asked Amber, "Where is No?" and Amber said, "Follow."
Mm-hmm.
And Dandy and Saya are currently investigating the blood that is in the street.
I'll join Dandy and Sae.
All right. So you wish to investigate the blood as well?
Sure.
All right. I'll take a nature or a con.
Oh,
or I guess religion too, if you want to do that.
Or what'd you say? The last one?
Or religion. If you really want to.
Okay. Yeah, I was just musing out loud. I forgot this character doesn't have investigation.
All right.
Well then.
Okay.
I should have rolled investigation.
Well, with what you were looking for, Arcana was the right skill. Religion is not quite the right skill, but it's close enough to give you the answer I'm going to give you. Something is afoot here. You can tell, judging by the looks of it, you can sense there is indeed some sort of magic. You can feel. You feel it's a very strange type of magic. You can't recognize what it is. It's neither arcane nor divine. It's something different, and there's a slight lingering of it in the air as it's beginning to sort of dissipate. But No himself has a fair bit of this energy, or the blood does, I should say.
Oh no!
But exactly what this is, you can't put your hoof on.
Well, you can touch it, but that's not the point.
This is true. Amber, you lead. It's Amber and Corvine head back into the guild hall. Corvine notices that she's being led into what appears to be a sort of a crafter's guild. You see various miscellaneous items here and there, and some are for sale, some are in state of construction. And you're led back into a courtyard. And there you see several individuals, because the whole building up going in there is basically empty. In the back you see several individuals and you hear what sounds to be weeping, and the mood is extremely heavy. And you're led through the crowd to what appears to be a fresh burial site with a small headstone with No's name on it.
Had a character. They worked fast.
All members of the guild have a gravestone created ahead of time, just in case.
Come again, No?
all members of the guild have a headstone created ahead of time, just in case their experiments kill them.
Sounds about right.
Well, in all fairness, they're a crafters guild. They have the skill to make things like this quickly.
Also, there's been a lot of past incidents.
Yeah, they got good at creating gravestones because they do it so often.
He probably got close to death on one of his experiments at one point, and they already made this.
Would you prefer a rock with a crude engraving on it?
The date. So you're saying the date was scratched out and changed, but everything else was already ready?
But in any case, this is what you see when Amber leads you into the.
Okay. Then, Corvine's gonna walk up to it and, kind of, morbidly bow to it, I guess.
Pay your respects.
Yeah. And she, yeah, she's paying her respects.
Right? Then I suppose we'll go ahead and call session in a moment.
Okay.
Last thing I want to do is ask: is there any final words either Amber or Corbin wants to say before we go back to the people on the street?
Yes, there's one more thing I wanted to.
Right.
I tried to, find someone to, donate money to the guild. And apologize.
All right. We'll say you speak to the guild master. The guild master was male, correct? No.
That is correct. His name is Jorgen.
All right. He looks at you. Are you a friend of Nose?
Only recently.
He looks over at Amber. Thank you, Miss. It means a lot to us that you did this. He was. Yeah. Sorry. What?
I can't shake the feeling that somehow this is related to everything we've been covering.
I don't know what you've been up to, but No's always been a little bit of a mysterious one. Gifted, you say, in ways we didn't quite understand. He always seemed a little ahead of his time. There's always something a little strange about it. I don't remember what it was. He had a good head in there. A really good head.
Okay. So, how much money would be like a lot to donate to this guild?
Let's see. I'm going to assume the guild has mild success. And I realized that I goofed on 5e economy, and that your common everyday peasant, I think it's about like a gold, or a laborer can expect about a gold a week or a day, depending on how you look at it. So we'll say they probably rake in a couple hundred gold pieces a week, maybe a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and say, how does 500 sound to you, Clint?
You do realize that
Sure.
none of us have that much money.
Well,
Only Clint had that much money, and
Yeah,
only in
Clint had all the
gems.
money in his bag of holding.
Because he literally took all the money from all the loot in the entire game.
Well, I mean, I'm sure House Winterblood has that much money.
Yeah, the house.
Yeah.
Not the runaway.
Oh, Amber, do you say that? Do you convey that to Corbin? Granted, it's slightly meta. Corbin, you were saying something?
Your mic is going nuts there, OC.
Oh, sorry.
I would like to donate to the guild to compensate. I know it's not exactly my fault, but I still feel guilty. Hello?
He lets out a heavy sigh. Miss,
Yes.
why don't you come back about a week? Let's talk then, all right?
Okay.
1 year later.
Shh. Quiet, you. All right. Then I guess we'll go ahead and call it good inside the guild house. Unless there's anything else either of you wanted to do relatively quickly. All right,
Not really.
Outside. My question is then, what are you guys going to do next? You've investigated the blood. You've discovered it's a bit strange. Around you are terrified-looking individuals you can see. And what do the three of you do next?
Besides share the info, Saya is going to look to everyone and just say, "But isn't there cleaner around here? We can clean up this mess and move along with our lives." Half of you know ice magic.
So Baiguang is going to just gaze around at the crowd to see if anybody appears either more guilty or gleeful rather than just curious.
There aren't many individuals around. The particular spot has more or less vacated, but the few individuals that remain, they are gazing on, again, somewhat horror, a bit of disbelief. At Saya's words, one of the a couple of them like, "Oh, right," and sort of sprints off. And it appears that Saya has sort of dispelled the shock that was in the air, and now people have begun to disperse and are. You're noticing people are avoiding this particular area, and those who are sort of like going around you and not trying their best to not pay attention to the blood spot.
It's just another day in the market. It really would be best to either get this cleaned up or get out of here before Zala shows up. A brawl in the market is against a law of brain.
Baiguang mutters to himself, "Don't I know it?"
Personal experience.
I don't even know what you said.
She said that we got to get this cleaned up before the fuzz shows up.
Yeah, but
Because,
then she said something different.
Legal.
Oh! Oh.
Yeah, a brawl in the market and dirtying the environment. I think this breaks 3 laws actually.
It does break a few of them.
I had to study all of them.
So then I guess the final question is: are you guys going to mess?
Are we what?
Are you guys going to clean up the mess?
Or are we going to clean up the mess?
That's the question.
No.
I'm actually in a moral debate about that right now.
Well, yes or no? I need to know, and then I'll end
No.
session.
I wasn't planning on it.
All right, then we'll go ahead and call session there. We're finally out of Vesper's house. Woo!
Hooray.
And then Danny goes back into
Yay.
Vesper's house.
I spent several months inside of Vesper's house.
What are you people doing in my house?
Who are you people?
Who are you people? Why are you in my house for months?
they're just sleeping on the couch every night.
Bunch of freaking freeloaders.
Dandy.
Sorry for the abbreviated session,
It's okay.
but
It's not.
but hopefully next week it'll be better.
I made a thing to help
Oh yeah,
me remember.
I have some chat to catch up to.
Yep. At some point, Danny's probably going to be like at the end of the day. Danny's going to be back, and he's back to Vesper's house, and he's going to hug him like a real man. He needs a hug after this.
You're a man's hug.
Man's hug.
How much trauma experience do we get?
What's this word you keep using? Man.
Man. Oh, Peter knew.
My silver streams.
Oh goodness, I have much to look at it apparently.
A little bit.
There we go.
Just all of No's inventory.
What the heck are men, man?